Indeed. And greetings upon you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me here again on another day that we get to support one another. We get to be there for one another. We get to just be in a state of acceptance, like genuine acceptance of just, oh, this is something you want to do now? Okay. Guess I'll love you nonetheless. Um, I feel like I'm getting my gears grinded with these cows just ceaselessly mooing. my brain, my brain doesn't want to. Shabbat. Indeed. Indeed. Greetings unto you, beloved friends. Thank you so much, Shannon and Jovan. Thank you so much, Brother Isaac, for joining me. Ah, the screen of the Mooka. Oh, dude. I'm happy that you're feeling it as well, dude. I'm losing my mind just like a little bit. Like losing my mind even more, if we will. What a beautiful call to action. Dude, I'm losing my mind, bro. Like I'm actually I don't know why they're being this loud. And this has been going on for at least like 24 hours now. No, no, no. A little bit less than 24 hours. It started last night while I was trying to sleep. Nonsense constantly over and over again. And then I ended up putting in earplugs and I was like focusing on my breathing. And I got like a whole ass meditation session out of that. But then the things that I put in my ears to not hear the cow moos, ended up being uncomfortable. I had to take them out. Dude, send strength, please. Please hold it together. Thank you, brother. I'm your neighbor. Shut up, those animals. I want to sleep. Me too. Even me, Oyster. I feel, brother Bear. Like it's even worse for me, dude. I have not been able to escape this ceaseless screaming. Maybe that's why I'm feeling a little bit worn today. I showed up to the yoga session today, and I was just like, I'm still here. Yesterday I felt amazing, because I actually got to sleep properly. And then today, plus last night, with this ceaseless mooing, please, send strength, please. I need just like a little bit of strength. Oh goodness. Well, Melt, I'm thankful for your space, these cows, and all you friends. Today, I'm needing the space. Maybe you're meant to be unhinged today. Thank you for that, Isaac. So, maybe I am supposed to be unhinged. A little bit crazy because today's topic was actually something suggested by Christian. One of our friends is in the process of maybe immigrating, and like, he's actually been on stream. Adrian, the blonde friend, beautiful creature. Like we had two conversations. We had a conversation yesterday where he told me he had an interview today, and then I called him before his interview, had a little bit of a conversation, asked him what his family thinks, what his friends think, what he thinks, and we got to kind of like explore all of those, facets of the fractal that is moving to a new country. And then like I kind of finished the call. I went and did some yoga, finished my yoga, and then called him back after his interview, and apparently his interview went well. And I'm in the camp, if you will, of extreme support for him and for this journey that he wants to embark on, leaving the country and working somewhere else, where Christian doesn't. Like he's in the opposite camp, if you will, and not in a malicious way. Just he doesn't want his friend to leave. And I asked him, "Do you know? Do you want to suggest something? We'll have a conversation about today." And he was like, "Yes. How do you stay friends? How do you mediate the relationship when one of your friends moves to a different country and you have to have you have to have long distance relations, if you will, right? Like trying to communicate, trying to share parts of your life, even though someone might be at the other side of the world or overseas. And the only thing that I could imagine you really can do, the only remedy to that situation, I feel, is just to be supportive. And that is what this stream is really about. Sure, we're bringing it with the topic of maybe someone is doing something for themselves and you might not want that thing to be done, or it might affect you in some way or another negatively, be it just by you losing access to your friend. The only thing we can really do if we want the relationship to actually last is just to be supportive, to be genuinely supportive of our friends, to try and encourage them as much as we can, to try and see the beauty of the journeys they're embarking upon. And I'm here to support you, Brother Isaac. What is going on, Brother Bear? Do let us know. We'll be more than willing to send you some energy. Shannon, thank you for the love, friend. Sending you strength and peace, Mel. Thank you. I need strength and peace. Maybe this is even more of an opportunity. I'll read something we're saying and then we'll do a little bit of a sequence, if you will, a sequence of paying attention to ourselves. So, like, I've been dealing with this the whole day, right? Obviously. But as I've been dealing it with the whole day, I've been dealing with it with this sense of quietness where I was like, oh, yes, I am, I am zenning out. I'm not gonna pay attention to all of the moves. It will just be background noise, and I'll just be the observer of these noises. But now that I'm making sounds myself, it's extra jarring. They're trying to brainwash us. They're trying to put ideas in our heads. Maybe ideas like this. Every thought, be it limiting or empowering, uses the same infinite power of creation. Getting called out by the universe. I know, I do know. Every thought, be it limiting or empowering, uses the same infinite power of creation. How's that? So I can choose to believe that the cows are limiting me. They're they're interrupting the frequency I'm trying to emit, or I can believe that them trying to interrupt the frequency I'm trying to emit is just challenges, just obstacles for me to melt straight through. Yeah, yeah, let's go. Let's freaking go. Excited for you. Thank you, Isaac. I'm happy to hear you're excited, Brother Bear. I'm needing the space. Maybe you're meant to be unhinged. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's take a breath, friends. Just in this moment, take a breath. Feel yourself a little bit situated wherever it is you are. If you're seated or standing, just feel yourself secure, right? Like Mother Earth is holding you down, supporting you with gravity. You're not flying into space, at 29,000 kilometers per hour at this moment. So you are, at least as far as we can believe, secure right now, right? Sure. Secure. Take another breath. Feel secure in the knowing that your next breath is waiting for you. And the next breath is waiting for you. Mother Earth is taking care of you. She has produced so much life for you to be living. And just to feel secure in that livingness, the cows mooing, the birds chirping, the trees growing, all of it in support and encouragement of living, of life. It's from this perspective that we can really lean into what it is we're feeling right now. If we're feeling good, if we're feeling bad, if we're feeling meh. Not judging these feelings, but just being with them. Being able to feel them, realizing that it's not about necessarily feeling better as much as it's about getting better at feeling. We feel so many things and we keep going through these ebbs and flows of feeling ecstatic, feeling good, and then feeling the opposite, right? Like whatever it means to not feel good. And then we go back and forth, and it can be so jarring because on one hand, we feel good and we see what that good feeling feels like. And then when we feel bad, we have now had the perspective within infinity of what it feels like to feel good, and it makes the bad sometimes feel even worse, right? And then we really lean into that worse feeling, and then we feel what it feels like to feel worse, and then the other side of the infinity shows itself again, and because we felt so bad, we get to feel good again. So, just in this moment, allowing yourself to realize that whatever it is you're feeling, you are part of the infinite flow of life, the infinite flow of you. Taking a moment to really lean into the you, what you have done, what you have wanted, what you have willed, the things you have been able to realize for yourself, the things you want to realize for yourself, the things you've realized for other people, realizing that you have so much power to create, so much power to choose a direction, and so much power to move in that direction. It is with this direction in mind that we pay attention to our hearts. We pay attention to the part of ourselves compassionate, the part of ourselves that's loving, the part of ourselves that's open to all experience. And to reference this part of ourselves when we choose a direction. It's good to have a direction, but if we move in a direction that is in the opposite of love, in the opposite of light, we'll never get somewhere, or maybe we will get somewhere where we don't want to go. Moving towards the light, in our current cultural understanding, means going and, going into the light, dying, if you will. But we are actively moving into the light. More so than ever, these devices are allowing us to share light and love, sound in the form of love in the form of sound, love in the form of light with one another across the planet. And not only on a visceral level like the pixels creating light right now, but even the very data being transferred between me and America is running by fiber optic cables. Ones and zeros communicated by pulses of light. We're heading towards light, friends. And all we can do is be compassionate and supportive of one another as we're heading towards that. It's with this understanding that I ask for us to have the ability to listen and to say what needs to be said, to listen with a supportive heart, a supportive ear, and to be able to speak from the heart, saying things that our beloved friends might want to hear. Sometimes difficult to know though. So I would like for us to ask for intuition as well. I would like for us to try and see things for more than just what is at face value. To intuit what is necessary and to know what needs to be done. With that knowing, tuning into our unity with all that is, taking another breath, just realizing again that you are an integral part to the infinity, that you cannot be separate, not as body, and especially not as spirit. And with that connection in mind, realizing that you are supported throughout everything. You are supported throughout everything. Every single breath that you've taken, every single situation that you have transcended, every single moment where you felt you couldn't continue and you did. Supported. And for us as a collective to lean into that understanding of support from the whole and try to be that support of the whole to one another. Thank you, friends. Man, I feel balanced better. Like the cows' moos are now actually becoming like music in a way. Because every single one is different. Maybe I just had to pay enough attention. And it's this mindset of being supportive of them. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm like, maybe they are trying to say something, right? So how do I support the cows? And the only way that I can think to support the cows is just to listen. If only it didn't sound like screams, if it was like moo, moo, ha. Maybe then it would be cooler. But it is. Life is playing with you as it does, Shannon, as it does, ceaselessly, just slapping me around a little bit. Life. We're supported nonetheless. Even though she plays, she's still supporting us. So curious what the cows are saying. Me too. Me too. All right. That's the thing I'm thinking. So I'm thinking they're just like screaming at like the fact that they are not united. That's the mindset I have. Like they are segregated, not intentionally. I think they might be, getting some ticks removed from them with like dip. And then while they're in there, some of them are in the fields, and then some of them have to be confined. And I don't think they like that very much, and they're pretty vocal about it. So I'm like, let us out, let us out, come here, baby. Damn it, I hate this. Maybe like something like that. I don't know. Do we feel impermanence? Do we feel impermanence? Yes, I think we feel impermanence. Like, the best way, at least in my opinion, to feel impermanence is to eat things. Right, Nancy? Like, when you eat things, impermanence is a very visceral and obvious realization or reality of our nature. Because as soon as you start eating things, there is this, starting of the meal where you initially get the explosion of flavors. And then there is the period during which the meal is being eaten where you get to enjoy it. And then there is a finishing point where you're like, oh, now my food is done. If only there was more. If only I could, hit a rewind button and then eat the food again. So in that way, I feel we do feel impermanence, and we can feel it in different ways than just food. We can feel it in like relationships. We can feel it in friendships. We can feel it in like planting things. We can see things dying. We can feel it in having pets. We can feel it in seeing our family members pass away. So I do think we can feel impermanence. But again, this impermanence is something that should inform us. I think it is something that informs us. Instead of being something that needs to be avoided, it allows you to live more fully into the moments you have right now. Thank you for asking, Nanshi, the legend, Meltmore. Joe Scarbuck, it's been a while, friend. Thank you for joining us again. It's so nice having you here. Thank you for sharing your compassion with us. Aunt B, so much love to you. I miss the sunrise dances. Joe Carr, me too, interestingly enough. I was like actually spending some time considering restarting the morning dances, the sunrise dances. I am more fit than I've ever been in my entire life, and it's easier for me to dance now. So I'm like, it's easier. So you might as well start doing it. And it's also really good for you, the morning sunlight. So there's that as well that is encouraging me. But, and this is the only but I have, and I was like thinking about this today. So I'm so happy that you bring that as a question as well, or as a statement technically. I have yoga teacher training. It's coming up soon, and that keeps me up until like 3 a.m. in the mornings. It's starting on the 8th of May, so it's not that close. But I don't know if I want to readjust my sleeping schedule to waking up at like 5 a.m. or before 6 a.m. I fully support more dancing. I knew you would, Shannon. And I actually, so you'll see. Let me say that. You'll see what happens next dance stream. And you're going to see what I meant by you'll see today, tomorrow. I look forward to seeing with you, Shannon. Mm. Eden says, I missed. Eden says, I listen. I'm listening. My heart is open to you all. I will always hold space for you guys. And if we are to ever meet, I will hug the crap out of you, mentally squeezing you all in this moment. I mean, I saw like a bar, like a bar of white, and then as I kept focusing on it, it started melting, and it became like, imagine what marbling looks like, right? So the way that a line would be kind of like broken up into like little bits and kind of like spread out over the surface of the rest of the stone. It was happening to that's what was happening. Thank you, Edith, for being with us and for squeezing. Like maybe that's what it was, like mentally squeezing, you know. And as this little line gets squeezed, it gets like absolutely melted into the rest of my background. Love you, Zhao. Oh, the anticipation. Yeah, get it. Living, guided by love light. Love you, Shanfran. Love you. Thank you so much for your beautiful presence. We really appreciate you, Jovan. Thank you for that, Mel. My mental space feels a little warmer right now. Mine too. Thank you, Isaac, for going through that with me, and for just spending a moment with yourself. Nice one, Ag. Thank you for the helpful. Give them some scritches and lovings and moo back. Cows love that shit. Our cows don't like scritches. I don't even know why. Like they don't have any reason to not like us, but they seem to be a little bit skittish. Hmm. It's probably because of the dipping. Like you put them into constriction pathways, and then while they're in that constriction pathway, they can't really move forward or backward because there's cow in front of them, cows behind them, and there's railings by the sides of them, so you can actually get to them. That I don't really think would be that great, and it might create a sense of anxiety in their heads. Like I'm curious, do the cows, close to you, Uncle Becky, actually get dipped? Morning. Anyone listening to good music right now? I don't think so, Uncle Becky. I'm not listening to any music right now. If you're asking in like general, like do I listen to good music or have I been listening to any songs recently that I feel is good music? Also, no. I've been saving new tracks, but it's still Psytrance, and I don't know if Psytrance is something that you particularly enjoy. How about you, Uncle Becky? There is permanence in impermanence. We continue on, but every single moment can feel fleeting. You cannot hold onto a thought or feeling or moment. All is impermanent, meaning all is permanent. There we go. You know, that's it exactly, Brother Bear. It's both sides of the same infinity. And again, I want to bring it to this understanding of support. You know, like the universe is supporting us in that way as well. That is allowing us to have these impermanent experiences so that we can really gain an understanding of the value of having them. The value of feeling a certain way is only really illuminated to you when you no longer feel that way. Which is it sounds sometimes like a cruel joke, you know. It's like, oh, you'll only realize how happy you were by not being happy. And it's like, bro, bro, dude. But again, as you're saying, you can realize that there is permanence in that impermanence. So the fact that you're not feeling the way that you think you should be feeling just means that you will again feel the way you think you should be feeling. Because even the feeling of not feeling the way you should be feeling is impermanent, meaning you will feel the way you want to feel eventually. You just have to keep showing up, keep breathing, keep freaking eating foods, keep sleeping. You'll get it. Keep showing up, friend. I believe in you. He does gratitude dances on Wednesday. It's great. That I do. Thank you, Aunt B, for letting our friend know. Feeling tough today. Me too, dude. Didn't get much sleep at all. I didn't either. Was feeling so existential last night, which had my psyche just exhausted today. Isaac, bro. Okay, so I mean, like I shared a little bit of this with you at the start of the stream, and I shared a little bit with Ryan as well. But my night last night went kind of like this. I like was spending some time with my computer, and then I turned it off. I went to my room. I burned a little, piece of Palo Santo, and I went and researched what it does. I was like, yo, let me go and I said this to myself. I was like, yo, let me go and brainwash myself. I was like, yo, let's go and get some placebo on the internet. And I was like reading this list of 10 things of like, yeah, it does such and such and it makes it so and so. And I was like, oh, okay, that's neat, cool information. Thank you, interwebs. And then I like pulled a card. Well, I just flipped one of the cards I've already pulled, and it was a card about prana and really breathing into every single endeavor, right? Like in a real and visceral way, focusing on your breath, realizing how your breath supports you, and realizing how you breathing into things is you being in support thereof. And I pulled it upside down, when I initially pulled it. And the upside down meaning is shallow breathing may lead to a constriction of life force. And I was like, thank you. I know this, but I felt it was very necessary for me to hear it in that moment. I burned a little bit more of my Palo Santo, and like my room was completely filled with the smell. And then I just sat and I meditated. And I was really spending time with that like scent. I was really spending time focusing all the way on my breath, really like intentionally breathing, instead of just letting myself be breathed. And I had this, I like one, the cows were like ceaselessly mooing, and then I had this little low frequency tune like it to the left of myself, that was like a like almost that tune, where the original one's like the tinnitus sound is like a lot higher. And I was like, that's interesting. And then the cows kept going and I couldn't really focus properly. So I put in these like earplugs basically. And then that sound became even louder. And I was breathing intentionally and I was breathing into that space. And it felt like the more I was breathing into that space, the more distant it became. And I was like thinking to myself, like, am I being led somewhere? is there what is this frequency? Where does this frequency come from? Is it my brain generating it? Am I tuning into a frequency? Why is it only to the left of me? I was like, all of these stories that I was trying to figure out. Also, in the same way, having a little bit of a feeling of existentialism, not in a bad way, just like what the hell, type of feeling. And whew, man, like there was so many things that happened, and I think like all of it was prefaced by breath as well, where I would lay extremely still, and I would just focus on my breath, and I would repeat to myself either melt more or mind awake, body asleep, and I was like, you know, relax, relax, melt more, melt more. See that little crust in my eyes. Okay, anyway, and I was having a hard time, dude. Like I had such a hard time sleeping, and then the earplugs started becoming uncomfortable, and I had to take them out. So I was like spending maybe an hour and a half, just meditating myself into exhaustion to actually eventually get to sleep. But it was a beautiful experience. Like I had a really good time doing that, even though I feel it exhausted me for today. So I'm here with you, Brother Bay. I'm here with you. I feel that with you, man. It's kind of trippy that you're going through the same. Speak of pets, pup date puppers has an inner ear issue that was causing like a vertigo situation. Has antibiotics and eardrops, and it's on demand. All your love work. Thank you so much, Eden, for letting us know, and thank you for taking your beloved Willow to the vet. I appreciate that. Swallow me, says dude. There's someone creeping around in the bushes behind you. Please be careful. Okay, friend. I'm gonna like. There we go. The little, slider for careful is like a little bit up now. Like it was like at like a like a minus 0.6, and it's now like maybe at a 1 of carefulness. Thank you, friend. I feel like I've been doing things to love myself and love others. Just been feeling that in that I've been getting more disconnected in my own way. I feel less intensely lately, less passionate. I feel like I'm drifting off into space. Dude. Isaac, yeah, me too. Exactly, like word for word that. Like I kind of chucked it up to feeling unmotivated, but I've been doing the same. So even though I've been feeling unmotivated, I'm still exercising, I'm still eating well, and I'm still doing what I need to be doing, right? But while at the same time also feeling like I'm feeling less intensely, I'm feeling less passionate about other things. And then I feel like this space is almost something that is like taking a lot of precedence in my mind as well. In the same way where you're like mentioning the love for myself and love for others is something that's important right now. This too, Brother Bear, and this too. Everything with infinity. These feelings of feeling less connected, less passionate, is just an opportunity for us to be in a state of receptivity, like being the magnet for that information to flow back to us. I cannot see your message untitled. Thank you for joining us. It's so nice having you here. How are you doing? Hey, it's Cassiopeia Dwarf. Hi, how is everyone? I'm doing well, friend. How are you doing? How's life been treating you? How have you been treating you? Oh, thank goodness. I was thinking so much about that little pup yesterday. Thank you for letting us know, Eden. Thank you for sending all of that love. I appreciate it, Wazig. I have decided to study psychology at university. I think that will definitely serve you, my friend. Thank you for letting us know. Are you looking forward to it? When are you starting? Kurt Vile's new album. I don't know who Kurt Viles is, but thank you for shouting out your an artist. I wanted to say your artist out, but then I was like, can you say that? Yes, this is my artist. Thank you. Puts in my pocket. Thank you, friend, for sharing love. This is a longer conversation, but if everything was permanent, then how do new things arise? If consciousness continues, it continues, not as something permanent as it was. This would be a good Starry Night conversation. Nancy, This is what it's about, right? Allowing ourselves an opportunity to try and have these conversations. If even we just hear those words and just think about it, have those conversations with ourselves in mind. Were you up all night on plant medicine? No, friend, fortunately not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be, completely present right now. I'm just listening to a song. I hope I'm stoned when Jesus takes me home. Okay, that's the lyric you take away, Uncle Becky? Why? Lol, who wrote that? I'm curious as well. I'm driving and listening, but sending you all love. Thank you for joining us, Lisa. It's so nice having you here. Is that a Hank or Willie song? I hope I'm stoned by Charlie Warsham. There we go. Now you know. Exactly, it's the conundrum. That consciousness is permanently impermanent. It's ever changing, yet ever a recognizable space. It is us, but it is what we experience as well. We are permanent, but what is happening to us is not. I love it. Infinity. It's the only way that it makes sense to me, right? It's like, how the hell am I supposed to wrap my head around something this complex? And it's actually simple, and yet infinity is something that we cannot fathom. Like we don't have the capacity. Even if you could understand infinity, as soon as you understand infinity, infinity would in that moment stop making sense to you because it is infinite. Just brain just melts. Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to listening. Thank you for being willing to Nancy. Sending the spare support and love to one love sending the spare support and love of one to brick and mortar up the community. Thank you, Natalie. I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but I appreciate you nonetheless. Of one to brick and mortar up the community. Like maybe like sending love to Uncle Becky as he's building like little chalets. That's the closest fractal that I can elicit right now. Mm. So strange how in sync we are. Dude, I'm tripping out actually. I had too much TV time. The show has been encroaching on my mental space too much. After feeling like the tug of war with myself, the day was stronger than ever. Then then all night flip flop from sweaty to cold. Dude. Felt so lost in the moment, like I was the only soul in the universe. I think I'm in an interesting time of my life. My job is unmotivating, but I'm doing these things, just feeling like I'm doing it just to be doing it. It's so strange and so frustrating. I know I'm okay, and I know I'll be okay. I know I will come into the next stage of my attention and finding the next passion. Being here can be scary. The fear of missing the mark and not knowing. Oh, Brother Bay, your words are so synchronous and resonating with what I'm going through right now as well. That's why we admit, right, that we don't know anything. Because we really don't. We really don't. It's so difficult, Brother Bay. Sometimes it feels like we're, as you're saying, the only soul in the universe, right? That we get completely convinced of our separation, and we're like, oh yeah, I'm so separate. I'm, I'm really believing it. Look at how obvious it is, and yet it's an illusion. You have never been separate. You being able to feel that separateness just again shows your connection with that which you are. And I know you know, Brother Isaac, and I'm happy that you continue showing up, dude. That's the only thing we can do. Day in, day out, just showing up. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. I can only stay for a bit, but won't everyone please take a moment to enjoy the sunshine behind mouth? Thank you, Natalie, for enjoying it with us, my friend. It's so nice to have you here. Thank you for sending love on the Reddit as well, Shannon. I can only stay. I was in the same position, man. The universe will give you a win soon. Thank you, Wary Pangolin. I appreciate that so much. Both sides of the infinity, friend. And in this moment, you are on that other side of the infinity and you get to communicate something. Nathan? Nathan Bond? That is the Nathan I think it is. So this dude went with me to high school at MRS. I met him through a friend called David, which I absolutely love. And the last time I saw him was when he got married. I do believe, right? It's been a while, dude. How are you doing? How is Bia? Biu? I know it's a strange name, like BEATE or something like that. How are you doing, Brother Ben? Thank you for joining us. It's nice to have you here, man. We're talking about support today. Specifically, a friend of mine is planning to move to Mauritius. He has a job opportunity there. And another friend of mine is a little bit distraught because of that. And I asked him if he wants to suggest a topic we want to talk about today. And that was what he wanted to talk about, was like, how do you deal when one of your friends leaves, goes to another country? And me and him got to have that exchange. And when I initially left, he was very not happy about that. he was he was a little bit angry. Like he was passive aggressively angry to the point where he would avoid me, right? So that we won't have the conversation that needed to be had. And it was like going on and on and on, and I kept having this sense of like separation of inside of myself, and it was a little bit bothersome actually. And it basically led to this feeling of, am I doing the wrong thing? What am I supposed to be doing? Na 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 na. I know we have another friend going through the exact same thing. And all I can think of, all I can imagine I needed when I initially left is support. Even though you might not be supportive of the person's decisions of what they think they are supposed to be doing, by being supportive of them, you support them, and that is what's more important than anything to us, especially when it comes to our friends. We have so much criticism. Just imagine how much you criticize yourself, right? And then compound that on top of your family criticizing you, potential friends criticizing you for your decisions. If you want to be a real friend, if you want to be a real good partner, you know, pokes at you, just be supportive. That really is the only thing we can do. Nathan Bond. Like maybe like I know your surname is May, isn't it? Can I remember that correctly? It's been so long, dude. I've been missing you. I've like actually been checking your like profile picture on my WhatsApp as well, and I've just not sent you a message because I see you're a married man, dude. Actual married man. Thank you for joining us, though. Thank you for letting me vent, friends. I love you all so much. Y'all are healing. You are the medicine. We are the medicine. Together we heal. Thank you, Isaac, for being willing to, show your wounds and have them cleaned out. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Fran. That's the thing too. I'm so aware of all my wins and blessings, just feeling blank, which is exactly how should feel currently. Exactly. Being blank means that you have a new canvas on which to paint your infinity. You got this, Isaac. The last couple of nights, I've been waking up sweaty and feeling the same way. There has been a lot of solar flares lately. They do affect us. Oh, absolutely. Yes, they do. Like to a genetic level, even. Maybe it was that. I was having an awful time. That kind of fever dream feel that your room is crushing in on you. Our minds are powerful. What I'm curious about is spending time intentionally thinking about things, and then in turn how spending time intentionally thinking about things, intentionally meditating, intentionally exercising, how that influences our epigenetics slash our biology to the genetic level, DNA being influenced by your decision making. And then how, as soon as you have this epigenetic change, I believe you go into the opposite of the thing you just manifested before that thing gets realized. So if you have done something, if you have spent conscious effort thinking about something, at least in my experience of the infinity, I usually feel worse before I feel better. So maybe that's something to lean into as well, Isaac. It's incredible. Playing the game and winning, nothing gets old. Thank you, Gob, for playing the game, not the bed. It's so nice having you here. How are you doing, my man? How are the poppers? Enjoy your day, pretty lady. Thank you, especially for 20 years. Especially for 20 years, dude. Yup, me too. Been having headaches too. Try doing some grounding activities and listening to 7.83 hertz music. I personally find that really, really helps. Thank you for sharing that information. Actually, 7.38 hertz music if you're dealing with headaches and you're not feeling grounded. I don't think I've ever listened to that frequency actually. A play on your titles, we can only stand by others, but a walk also stands. So if we only have a little bit of emotional energy left to share, if we share it together, we can support each other with the strength of a wall, with the strength of the all. Thank you, Natalie. Beautifully said. Beautifully, beautifully said. 7.3 is Earth frequency. Ah, puts my hand on the flower, on the grass. So the first thing I felt was my heartbeat in my hands, where it was like, doop, 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 doop. Thank you for sharing that with me. I really appreciate it, Shannon. I think I might have heard it before, but I just didn't have it attached to anything in my mind. So thank you for like sharing it with me as well. That is why we have to realize we win just by booting up, just by being here. You know, like not even in this space, but present. Like if you're paying attention to the absolute magnificence of everything around you, you're winning. You're literally winning. Boom, shakalaka. How are you doing, Uncle Becky? We don't got no wada. Me too. Rain on the way. I know one thing. We shall manifest the yacht. Yes, we shall. Feet on earth. Like it might be like we said, 11 years and 11 months and 11 days, right? I think we can do it. If I am 35, yeah, 35, 36. We'll have a yacht. We'll stream from the yacht. We'll have beautiful, beach fronts as backgrounds. It will be sick. I sent you a link before Melt when you're feeling off. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Shannon. Like I'm guessing you sent it recently. Or did you send it a while ago? Then have water, under the music, build a yacht. You build a yacht, I'll build the wagon. To like carry the yacht with, I'm guessing, Uncle Becky. Snuggles and Feel Betters. He is a what? He's a what? He's a music man. Hey, Pete. It's nice to have you here, dude. So cool, man. Thank you for joining us. Brownie and I will start packing towards the cars. I'm just imagining like a wagon, Brownie pulling said wagon, and then on said wagon, an actual yacht, like just like, and then Brownie. Like now I'm imagining Brownie like really having to put in torque, like really dragging herself like across the ground, pulling this yacht towards the water. It was a while ago. Did I miss it? Did I not reply? Or did I reply and didn't know, that you sent a link to that thing and I didn't get to see it? I'm sorry, Shannon. Thank you nonetheless. I appreciate it. East to the Appalachians and follow them north. Yes, of course. Walk beside people. Don't lead them. Don't push them. It's the only way, Pete. It really is the only way. All we can be is supportive. And I'm really trying to melt that understanding into my own mind as well, because I can be a little bit pushy sometimes. I definitely can. Only out of love though, right? Only out of love. Like I don't think we ever push another person to be something or do something in order to hurt them or because we think it's going to make them lesser. You said you listened to it. No worries though, Mel. I might have listened to it. I just didn't actually like look at the frequency. I wouldn't be surprised. Like Shannon, I cannot even start to explain to you how much information I'm trying to process every single day. And I do forget things. You know, I forget a lot of things. I probably don't even remember how many things I've forgotten. But I wouldn't be surprised that I did listen to it and it was just like a moment of me being completely in my right brain. And I was like, and then upon not listening to it anymore, my brain was like, okay, we're gonna just move this to the recycle bin. That information, that information is no longer necessary. Welcome side people. I like this. We are strong in a human chain. We are strongest in a human chain. That we are, Isaac. We have to stand like side by side, holding hands, right? Making that wall, protecting the entire earth, creating a grid of protection between ourselves and between us and Mother Nature. Stand in front of them when they need protection, behind them when they need help climbing a mountain, but with them always. Thank you so much. I totally understand, Mel. Me too. Really, no worries. I'm not too worried. I want you to know that I care. I really do. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you so much. What's wild is while meditating, I have felt some incredible physical feelings. Feelings like my consciousness explodes outwards in an instant. In the same room, same brain, same body, I can feel the very opposite. We are incredible. We really are. You know, and like I don't know if at this point I have brainwashed myself to the point where I'm unable to see anything else. But like everything at this point is revealing itself to be infinite. You know, and that message you just sent, being able to feel, you know, like literally like you're exploding, so expansive, and then feeling like you're contracting and the only thing in the universe or alone in the universe. Like those are two completely opposite mindsets. How is it even possible that you can hold both? How are you that powerful that you can hold both? I can carry it, but I can't carry you. I can't carry it, but I can carry you. Mm. I like that as well, actually. Thank you, Isaac. That's beautiful, friend. Sending lots of love and healing right now from the way and sick kiddos. I'm sorry to hear that. Little kitties and strength to you. Sending so much love, Natalie. An important caveat is that love helps us grow, but the wall shouldn't be to keep things out, but to welcome a refuge for those that need to build themselves back up. Supportive, like literally just trying to be supportive, right? Like a structure for a vine to grow up on. And the vine might choose this direction, might choose that direction, and all we can do is just be that supportive wall, you know, receiving. I do recognize when I feel I want to push someone in a direction that I think would be beneficial, but then I have to pause, take a step back, and remember that I'm an observer here, and I offer my observation. Mm. I feel completely into that. Offering observations in support, not pushing, not leading, not showing people what they should see, but instead showing them where they could look. I recognize when it's done to me, it is out of love, but possibly without the inner observation, and no harm is intended. Mm. I feel mostly, at least within loving relationships, definitely, Javan. Sometimes we hurt one another just because of our unawareness. You know, like we're so infatuated with our own experience that we're unwilling to recognize that saying a certain thing, doing a certain thing, expecting a certain thing inadvertently hurts someone. I'm asking for the awareness to know. Thank you, Jovan, for bringing that to my mind as well. Breaking out of the bucklers later. I don't know what that is either. I'm so sorry, friend. All in all, we're just another brick in the wall. And if one brick gets taken out of the wall, the whole wall can collapse. 100% necessary, even if you're just a brick in the wall. The miracle that is Buckley's. I'm guessing it's a restaurant, breaking out the Buckley's, or is like a medicine, I'm guessing. Built a yacht with compost toilets, and I would get behind it. A yacht with compost toilets. I guess you could do that. Wouldn't be impossible. Yeah. Like I'm thinking a bunch of things, Natalie, but I don't know if any of them would be worth sharing. Are we the bricks or the mortar holding it all together? We're both. We're both the ground the wall stands on, the bricks that make up the wall, the mortar that keeps it together, and the roof that keeps it from getting wet and weak. And every single one of us plays a role, and it's the one that plays those roles. You know, like we look at a wall and say, that is a wall, seeing it as a unity, but we're unwilling to see humanity in the same way. How about that? Very much feel that, Joe. What works for us does not work for everyone. Nope. And if it did, it would be a little bit boring. Again, and that understanding of what works for us doesn't work for everyone is again why I believe we have to be supportive of whatever someone chooses, because what they choose might be wrong for you, but it might be right for them. And allowing them that is the most love you can give them. We are the bricks. Are we the bricks of the mortar together? And Vicks, there we go. I know Vicks. It's all over the chest and bottom of the feet. Bottom of the feet? That works, Eden? That's pretty crazy, actually. We are each a stone that can be chipped and and your compassion is the mortar. Ah, I feel you know maritime cures all. You are both my brick and mortar, holding me together so strong and inspiring. You see? And that's couple goals. Thank you so much, beloved friend, for sharing your love. Oh, I love the mortar or the brick. I feel like we are conscious people. We, as conscious people, are so permanent and solid. We could be the brick, but also how fluid and connected we are all are. We have to be the mortar and bricks are and we have to be the mortar and bricks are the acts of love for love to grip onto. Are we building a castle? Are we building a road? Are we just building a wall that continues into infinity? Are we building a school? Are we building a science lab? How do those questions make you feel? Oh, love and compassion holds us like mortar, and we are the bricks. I like that as well. My friend, how's Red you? It's been a while. Hello from Canada. How's Red you? How's Red you? How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you, Steven. How are you doing, friend? It has been a while, like months upon months. I love you in Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you, full stream. I banked big with my role in Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. You know, now I never have to work another day in my life. How nice is that? Dude, you've lost weight too. I have. I've lost a lot of weight, actually, Steven. I've been taking care of myself. Thank you for noticing, friend. How are you doing? I was thinking more along the lines of the bricks of the current systems that hold us here, and we're the mortar that the bricks need to stay together. And the beautiful thing is, Ninja Nanner, each and every single one of us can look at this idea, can feel into this understanding with a different little fractal. Like that's the beauty of being an infinite creator, is you get to infinitely create. Every single moment is an opportunity for you to extend yourself in love, and that extension of love is your experience. So thank you. Thank you for having a different idea. It makes it all the more vast, with an infinity. This reminds me of how cats purr at a frequency of between 25 to 150 hertz, and how this is supposed to promote healing in their bodies and can help with bone density. Supposedly, that frequency can be healing to humans as well. I've heard that actually, but I didn't know it was true. Thank you for sharing it again. Who needs tears? Oh, philosophy is so dope, right? That's it, dude. That is why philosophy is a thing and why it has been a thing. It's not about this is the right answer. And if you have any other ideas to damn with you, it's like here is a question. How do you feel? What do you see in it? And then we get to explore these different, facets of the same infinity. Like every single person, even if we're sitting directly next to one another, we're having an infinitely unique experience with our perspectives. And you friends being willing to share yours with me, I really appreciate it. If our compassion is the motor, then that also means that when we stop caring for one another, the whole wall weakens. We are stronger when we care. We're stronger when we support one another. Absolutely, Natalie. Thank you so much for resonating with today's topic as well. It's so fascinating, isn't it? I don't think I knew that about a cat's purr. Thank you for sharing that info with me. It's fascinating, right? I still don't know if it's actually true, Shannon. I hope it is. So grateful for all of you, always bringing so much love and life. Thank you for doing the same, Aunt B. I'm that I'm that infestation of ants living in the wall. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Now I'm trying to imagine what that means. Does it mean anything? Does it have to mean anything? What I'm thinking in this moment is just the living, that within something that can be seen as inanimate and dead, living, life is like, yeah, even this. So thank you for being alive, Isaac. I appreciate that. I've been thinking about you, dearest friend, sending you so much love. Thank you, Eden, for the love you share. Thank you, Shannon. So, do you, Aunt B? I hope you're feeling better today. Have you not been feeling? I mean, like, unless you're talking about the stuff that was said yesterday on an emotional level, but I do believe that you and the rest of the Haywire Hill family has gotten better. I don't think Uncle Becky ever replies to any of the questions I ask him in these streams. He's just like rapid firing messages, and I'm like, oh, please, trying to get some sort of context, and he's just like, no, Mel, no context, just chaos, just insanity. Oh, it really. Oh man, there goes my stream. I feel it's in tune though. You know, I feel a little bit tired today, and maybe this is exactly how much streaming we needed to do. Whew. It's okay. It's okay to not feel everything. You know, it's okay to sometimes feel nothing, and I need to remind myself of that ceaselessly. Need to remind myself to melt more. Ah, holding on to this thing, melted away. Ego stories, melted away. Oh, this thing is unbearable. It will transform, melt it away. It will pass, and we will feel connected again. We've never been disconnected. We cannot be disconnected. We really can't feel we can't be disconnected. So as long as we continue to breathe, as long as we continue to observe our experience, we are connected. I just I just think the feeling we're feeling is a sense of limited bandwidth, right, Shannon? It's not about feeling disconnected. It's just about the amount of bandwidth we are allowed in this experience. Sometimes we can feel so intensely about things, can feel so passionately about things, and sometimes we don't feel that. And it can be a little bit jarring because it's like a bandwidth thing. It's like when you've gotten used to using the internet, right? And you have like a 100 megabytes up, 100 megabytes down internet line. You're like, yes, I click on a video, it loads instantaneously. I open a photo, it's there in a split second. I download something, it's ready in less than an hour. These things that we get used to with bandwidth. And then when that bandwidth gets decreased, it's almost like we're angry. Like we get angrier when the bandwidth isn't there because it's now the sense of, this is the way it should be. How dare it? But that bandwidth is still there. Even if it gets reduced to like literal bits, per second instead of hundreds of megabits per second, you are still connected, and you cannot get disconnected. Like there is no plug that you are plugged into. You are the thing which plugs into. You are that crossing of the infinity, that point of intersection. We can't disconnect ourselves, and we should. I should remind myself of that as well, because I can convince myself. I'm like, oh, look at this. Look at how separate you are. Look at how shitty you're feeling. Must be because you're a horrible person. Because you're unworthy of love. Because you're unmotivated and you're gonna ruin your own life. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. I'll pass again. And then there were three of us. Just us three in this moment. Thank you, beloved friends. The ebbs and the flows. It really is ceaseless. And it's so crazy with these streams as well. Like I get to see even more ebbs and flows of the infinity than I've ever been able to, right? Like just think about us having conversations about the people that tune into the streams. Like, oh man, I don't have enough mental capacity to really take into consideration all of the loving friends that we've touched in this space. And I think about you friends so much, and I wonder, and I'm curious about what it is you're being, busy with, what it is you're doing, how it is you're feeling, if you're happy. And it's in those things that I can convince myself sometimes that there is some sort of disconnection. And then I realize that no, in fact, no, no such thing. But my ego doesn't want to believe it. It's like, no, stop. Group hug. Uh, you word better than me, but yes, that's what I mean. I know, Shannon. I'm resonating. I'm not saying no, Shannon, you are wrong. How dare you say such and such? Let me school you, Shannon. No, of course not. You said something, and that inspired me to say something. And if it wasn't for you saying something, I would just be silent. So thank you so much, my friend. Your friends are teaching me daily how to words, like legitimately, Jovan. I feel I'm wordsing better than I've ever wordsed it before, and I'm very grateful. Damn it! I got him. I did get him. You see, that is like mosquito dust. Assholes! How dare thee assault my person? Yes, see. Unfortunately, it's getting cold, so the mosquitoes should be bonking out within the next bit. Group back to you, friends. Thank you for joining me, for sharing this moment with me. I look forward to seeing you friends again tomorrow. Off to wash hands. Like, unironically, that was what I was thinking about, Shannon. Sending you love, friend. Have an amazing day. Bye, everyone.